I'm making this video to talk about the best mindset to approach the no movement gameplay. There are a few topics worth mentioning and getting into, and I'll start with the most controversial one, round throwing. This is what some people have been doing. Basically, you throw round 1 and round 2 on purpose, placing only your hero. Doing that gives you a tactical advantage in terms of knowing your opponent's placement, which will allow you to kind of craft a better positioning and possibly even reverse sweeping entirely, which would happen most of the time. This has proved to be a very viable strategy, especially since the game will give you 3 extra elixir for every round you lose. I feel like in some situations you should be doing that, but also in other situations it just isn't your best bet. There are a bunch of factors that can determine whether it's worth it to throw some rounds or to just play normally. For example, your hero can play a huge part in this because, let's face it, a Grand Warden in his own ain't winning a single round no matter what, but a Skeleton King or a Monk can deadass literally win 1v3s like it's nothing. So if both players decided to throw rounds, then it kinda gives too much advantage to one player and the other player gets double screwed. Another case could be where you should throw rounds you feel like you have no chance of winning. Monk usually wins round 1 versus Queen, so I decided to throw this round completely to make sure my giant skeleton never gets silenced and to make sure the Monk get almost no energy with his clash ability. Another case could be like this match where I went with the golden giant since it's a safe starter. My opponent decided to throw the round for some information and he did get my golden giant placement information. But on round 2 though, I decided not to place another mini because chances are he will throw round 2 as well, and he ended up doing so anyway. This way I have 2 rounds advantage over him and he is forced to dump all his minis on round 3, leaving me a huge advantage on round 4 and 5, which I ended up using to completely annihilate him with clash abilities. Also, another situation where you want to do that depends on your deck or strategy. For example, clash based decks are the decks that want to throw rounds for information. Placing your Spear Goblin on round 1 would make absolutely zero sense since your opponent will just avoid that lane completely for the rest of the match. But placing a Golden Giant is a little less risky since it aggroes all the lanes and just tanks. So you're kinda expected to look at your deck and figure out which minis are safer to go for when you have less information about your opponent's placement. The second topic, tiles. The way tiles work are when you start a match, there is a 50% chance to get a tile on round 1. Getting a tile on round 1 means on round 3 you will get a second tile in a random place that has no minis on it already. The way you want to approach tiles is that you want to consider saving your win condition for the second tile if the first one was not in a good spot, or like in general delaying it to round 3 makes it a bit harder to counter. The third topic, be creative. I mean it actually. I have some examples. First example, in this match, my opponent played an Ice Wizard on this tile. The Ice Wizard destroyed my entire team with his plus 10 attack. Next round, I placed a mini P.E.K.K.A here because I know it will walk towards him and target him first. Problem is, he survived with 1 HP and that's when I knew I had to do something crazy. Since the bowler is pushing the Mega Knight, I decided to deploy an Ice Wizard and get the splash damage upgrade on him, so when the Mega Knight gets pushed back, he will splash on the enemy Ice Wizard, and it worked. The second example, in this match, the Countess has been teleporting to the right side, which was terrible for my Archer Queen, and my mini P.E.K.K.A was getting distracted by his Ghost and Mega Knight, which is not ideal. I ended up placing my Healing Ranger right above the mini P.E.K.K.A. That way the mini P.E.K.K.A had to move to the right and was more likely to catch his Countess. Another example, in this match, I was using the Archer to snipe his Ice Wizard so I can keep my mini P.E.K.K.A effectively dissipating his stuff. The problem is, later he placed the miner and I had no tanks left for me to try to kill his miner. So in the next round, I placed the Healing Ranger here to get the miner to lock on it and on the Ice Wizard, which was getting killed by the Monk anyway. This allowed me to stall the miner long enough for my Archer to kill his Ice Wizard and normal Wizard, which actually ended up winning me the entire game. As you see, the no movement update, while it has its flaws, it still rewards you for creative and skillful plays, which make this game more fun to play and, more importantly, more fun to watch, which is essential for esports and potentially global release. That's all I got for today, but keep in mind I've only played this update for literally 2 days as I'm voicing this video, so subscribe for more tips when I learn stuff in the future, my dude.